books, 1,189 chapters, 31,218 verses, 3,566,480 letters. It is still the gospel in the whole story.
I was spoon-fed religion, just a toddler tutored in fear and fiction. Sunday school childhood indoctrination, promises of pre-approved after their salvation. Given 10 commandments to govern all desires, kept in check by threats of devilish hellfire. Send me mission and water baptism for my sake. Submission without explanation, they called it blind faith. I was told these holy writings have no rival. The only book that should be followed is the Holy Bible. Till it became imperative, I compared the narrative of the Christ Christos mythos and the traditional theological script to actual historical events. Literal interpretation versus what's allegorically meant by the Son of God, Son of Man, Messiah sent. God is good.
I'm talking about all organized religion. Exclusive groups created to manage control.
Seeing all these biblical contradictions, yeah, God is not the author of confusion, is what provoked my mission. Contemplation and comparative study on interpretation led me to Christianity's creation. 325 CE and Nicaea Council convened by decree of the Roman Emperor Constantine, deciding how Christianity will be presented, putting together the Bible, what will and will not go in it. Hundreds of bishops arguing over what's divinely inspired. Hundreds of books thought unholy, burned in the fire. Notice ideology is rooted in our valley spirituality. Maya law is scripted to Mosaic morality. Chemical astrology resurfaced. Hieroglyphics reinterpreted to Greek and Latin verses, with Easter replacing the spring recognized without hesitation. And Christmas instead of the winter solstice celebration. Returning our sorrow sets and Hebrews Immaculate Conception, with Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, Holy Trinity, and resurrection. Establishing a white Christ to praise, and I wait with the eternal choice of brimstone or the pearly gates. With 6 more councils over the next 450 years, Pantheon plagiarism for all under Roman rule to adhere. The devil is a lie.
A dealer is getting people hooked on the drug of hope. His followers, nothing but addicts who want their hit of bullshit.
Crucifix tricks that the church dictates, while tales of a jealous God kept everyone in place. Pope-driven institution of divine decision between man and God, a self-appointed position. On to the Middle Ages and the Crusades, days of anointed raids and so-called pagans being slayed. 9 holy wars sanctioned by the church. 200 years of killing Catholics and murderous Muslims putting in work. 2 different Abrahamic religions left thousands dead for control of Jerusalem, they said. 1557, Martin Luther thesis shake up. Started the Reformation, Christian church breakup. Henry VIII corrupt action, savage habits, along with clergy being accused of ecclesiastical malpractice. Started religious schisms, Eastern Orthodox versus Catholics, versus Protestants, Lutherans, Anglicans, and Anabaptists. Well, great.
All religions are just metastasizing mind worms, meant to divide us so it's easier to rule us by the charlatans that want to run us. If I don't listen to my imaginary friend, why the fuck should I listen to yours?
Late 1500s to late 1600s, more wars, more murder done in the name of the Lord. By this time, British were taking Africa over, saying according to the Bible, blacks are descendants of Ham, cursed sons of Noah. Sending missionaries to civilized tribes, saying heathens as slaves were a Christian's God-given right. The Methodist movement in 1738. Then in 1830 came Joseph Smith and the Church of Latter-day Saints. The Seventh-day Adventists in 1863. In 1907, the Church of God in Christ came to be. Opinion split in 1931, the switch. Charles T. Russell's Bible students turned Jehovah's Witnesses. The publicized twist of patriotic hypocrites. American adopts the motto in God we trust in 1956. Really? Spiritual castration. Doctrine denomination. With 37 million churches and 34,000 denominations. What?
Here are some things done on American soil in the name of Christianity. The Ku Klux Klan burned down black churches, raped women, murdered civil rights workers, murdered children, and terrorized communities for over a century. The neo-Nazis all acted and continue to act in the name of white Christian supremacy. The Army of God fatally attacks abortion clinics and doctors across the country. The Covenant, the sword, and the arm of the Lord targets local police and federal agents. The federal building in Oklahoma City, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan, and the successful assassinations of Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, John Lennon, and Abraham Lincoln. all perpetrated by Christians.